Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tank Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo. I am your host, Chromoid, and this time we're going to be watching A Knot of Toads by Mourark facing off against TW2 Fleet by Doom Agent in yet another, actually, one of our first quarterfinals brackets. Yes, these two contenders have made their way all the way to the quarterfinals, but now it's time for one of them to be banished down to the losers bracket and one of them to move on to the semifinals. So without further ado, let's get into it and see who comes out on top. Now, the interesting thing about these two entries, um, Mourark's entry uses a very flat setup with a mixture of cram and high speed APS, and they have this crabbing motion due to the fact that their wheels are positioned at 90 degrees to each other, so they can kind of spin like this and move sideways as needed, which makes a very interesting array. And then you have them going backwards like this, while you have TW2 fleet featuring about 7 of these bricks that are basically heavily armored bunkers with a mortar encased in the center. Just mobile bunkers that toss shells up in the air willy nilly. While on the outside, you have two gutters, the big land cruisers, that ricochet around the field and fire their APS into the center. Ooh, that's a big hit from a cram shell. Knocked a few blocks loose, but nothing critical, it looks like. Mourark's entry seems to be very good at landing shots, even with cram. They are very accurate, very lethal, and then they get a little derpy like this sometimes. They want to get away, so they scamper away, and then they rotate around to get into a better position. The APS seems to do this more than the cram. The cram tends to orbit at a much closer range and keeps the guns facing forward. But every once in a while, those APS, after they scuttle away, they start doing this, and it can really hurt. But yes, you've got the land cruisers over here staying at range. Oh, one of them has already lost a turret somehow. The main turret on one of the gutters has been popped off. The bricks. Oh no, a brick's already been DQ'd. I wasn't paying attention. No. Oh, that's not good. The bricks are getting shredded. This is the first time I've seen bricks take any sort of substantial damage, and the toads are staying at a healthy 100%. Wow. That's impressive. Toads just not taking enough damage from the falling mortar shells of the bricks, and there's not enough firepower coming from the gutters to make up for the haphazard lobbing that the bricks engage in. I think the toad's erratic behavior throws the bricks' aim off because they have to do that vertical toss, and the toads just kind of whirl in place and skitter back and forth at random. They have very, very snappy mobility. Oh man, bricks getting low now. We've got one at 87%. You see that APS shell from this, they fire extremely fast. They're gone in a flash. Some APS you can actually see the shell travel. With the toads that have the APS, you barely have time to register that they fired before they hit their target. And again, there's that accurate cram fire coming from the other toads. Um, that's all I can call them, toads and other toads. There's toad A, B, and C, but spitting toads. I guess the spitting toads would be the APS if I had to guess. Wow, just the cram volleys keep things honest. You can't just tank that many cram shells without having an issue. And this is that yeah, AI dead. That's what's killing them. They're not running out of hit points. They're getting cored by that APS shell. Whatever those toads are firing, it's just going straight through these bricks like they're made of tissue paper. And when it hits critical components, it disables them, and then it's a quick kill for the toads. So even at full hit points, you have bricks being DQ'd left and right. The crams keep them honest, the APS keep them humble, and my goodness, we're about to watch a full-on rout coming out of Mourark's entries. The only things really left to add Doom Agent's fleet is this one fully functional gutter and I think two bricks. Yeah, a brick at 97% and a brick at 68%. Where's that at? There's a brick at 68%. This one? Oh, it's been a yeah, it's had a oh my goodness. Yeah, it was cored out. Those APS shells are no joke. I must hit the cram internals and just shred it after that. Is this one dead too? This one's dead too. What in the world? Are they just weak underneath? Is there like are the crams hitting underneath them and blowing them up? I've never seen them go down this fast before. Oh my goodness! This is the first time I've seen them go down. They've been victors every time so far, but the Toads are just absolutely wrecking face with this entry. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. The Toads coming out as a solid contender for the top spot in this tournament. I haven't seen. I mean, they're at 99% still. I mean, they take damage. You see that one's down to 95, but it starts healing up. It's not taking enough continuous damage to start feeling it really. And while the markings might get marred on the Toads and they look a little worse for wear, it's really just superficial damage. You see the APS shell, you know, doing a little bit of damage. This one big gun on top of the gutter doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's only the forward gun that's doing anything right now. The gun's aiming like it wants to do something, but I don't know if that means it's loaded or if it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's causing it to not work. The Toads are kind of clumped up now. They're a little confused, but at this point, as long as they don't DQ each other, they've got this in the bag. There is a 98.8% to 29.6% lead. That's one of the most commanding leads I've ever seen any entry in this tournament have. And that shell goes skidding right underneath the elevated suspension of the gutter. I mean, that's one good thing about it, I guess. Oh no. More cram shells hitting the side. After a while, those are gonna. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Now, firing into your teammate is not how you do tank wars. And of course, we come to the other part of the combat. This is the issue the Toads have. They don't have a lot of stamina, and so right about the 5 minute mark, they stop moving. And whatever configuration they stop moving in, that's the configuration they stay in for the rest of the match. And unlike other times where they've managed to be scattered around the edges when they stop moving, this time they're not. They do have several facing in different directions, so the gutters are going to, they are going to be able to hit the gutters as they circle around in different positions, but it seems to be mostly the cram entries that can do that. This is an APS entry, cannot hit anything. Um, I don't know if there's another. Yeah, there's an APS entry here. Can't hit anything either, and doesn't seem to be. Oh, it has a gun. It's just going to be firing that gun straight through its teammate, which is not helpful at all. Oh man. And those crams are fairly accurate, but not the most accurate. They're going to struggle to hit this elevated tank. So the gutters have a little bit of time here to maybe make up a bit of the problem. Try to try to claw this back from the jaws of defeat. Maybe, I don't know. I somehow doubt they're going to be able to make a significant difference unless they get some lucky coring shots on these Toads. That's really going to be what does it. They're going to have to core the Toads. The Toads may be immobile, but they're still very lethal. If you get inside of firing range, oh no, not inside the range of the APS Toad. That's not what you want to do. The Spitting Toad, it can absolutely ruin your day with a good shot through the core. It hits the AI, it's dead. Oh no, the APS Toad has decided this gutter is a better target. The gutter has stopped moving. The gutters do tend to do this too. They run out of fuel and they tend to stop moving pretty after about 7 minutes. So this gutter's pretty much dead. There's nothing it can do now. It's got one Toad locked onto it. It's immobile. This is the only gutter that's still moving. It's got one gun to its name and it's missing quite a few blocks. Oh man. Now that APS on the Toad is missing quite a few shots. It seems that the detection's a little marred on it. Yeah, and now this is out of range. What are the odds that the gutter stops moving right outside of all the Toad's firing arcs, and they're just forced to sit there and glare at each other from across the map? Well, this one certainly is not out of range of at least one Toad, and it's getting slowly crammed to death. One shot at a time. Looks like that entire center area has just been absolutely peeled apart. Oh man. I don't know what was in the front of that. It might have been missiles, it might have been another gun, and I wasn't paying attention, but whatever it was, it's gone now. Oh, yep, another cram shell. That one's going to be good. But the sides of the gutters are fairly well armored. I think you need the APS Toads to actually hit them to do enough damage. I said the crams are starting to get in there, starting to find a way to, oh yeah, hit the turret, hit anything they can, try to blast these cannons off. Oh, oh, that went through. That finally punched through and took out the gun. I think that turret's been disabled based on that explosion. Yeah, I think this is it. We're at 1 minute and 10. There's one gutter that's slowly puttering around the edges. It's getting in range of another cram shell. All it's going to take is one lucky cram shot. It's missing most of its wheels. It can barely keep itself upright. It's going to take one unlucky cram shot to just stop it in its tracks. Oh, right in the rear, to the side. It's not doing well. It's not doing hot at all. Oh, shot after shot, rocking it back and forth. And this one is now just, yeah, this is over. This has been over for a long time. We're just watching the final spasms as TW2 Fleet finally meets a gruesome end at the hands of a knot of toads. They will have another chance to compete, though. They are in the winners bracket right now, so they're being bumped down to losers and will get a chance to continue on, maybe fight to see if they can make it to the finals after all. But, yeah, we're looking at about 10 seconds of toad mayhem left to go. There literally is a knot of toads in the center of the map now, clustered in this little well. They can't move anymore, but that's going to be it. Knot of Toads by Mourark is going to continue its rampage through the winners bracket, and TW2 Fleet by doomagent is going to be going down to the losers bracket. All right, I have been Chromoid. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.